Ever wondered what it might be like to get, well, direct instructions, like really urgent instructions from somewhere beyond Earth? Today, we're doing a deep dive into a really fascinating document that claims exactly that. It's called Excerpts from the Great Vibrational Alignment, a Pleiadian Directive. Yeah, this isn't your typical bedtime reading. This communication, it offers this incredibly specific perspective on an energetic shift, one that the authors say isn't just big, it's completely transformative for all of us. So our mission today is to really unpack this directive. We want to understand its core messages, explore the why behind this urgent call to action. We'll look closely at the instructions, the risks they mention if you ignore it, and the transformations they promise if you follow the call. And just to be clear up front, we're going to stick strictly to conveying what's in the source material. We're not adding our own takes or interpretations here. Think of us as your guides through this complex, maybe even startling material. We're here to give you a shortcut, really to grasp the essence of this document, something you probably don't bump into every day.
It's genuinely fascinating, isn't it? The level of detail, the specificity of the instructions, and even the predictions in this directive. It's not just philosophical musing. It reads like a step-by-step guide for navigating something they call, well, vibrational survival. The details are quite remarkable, painting a very vivid picture of what they claim is happening and exactly what individuals need to do about it.
Okay, let's definitely unpack this then, right from the start. If it's a directive, who exactly is sending this message? Who's behind it?
Well, the document itself clearly identifies the senders. It mentions Mira from the Pleiadian High Council and also Ashtar Sheran, who's named as the commander of the Fleet of Light. And it explicitly says their combined presence is needed because, and I'm quoting loosely here, the urgency requires clarity, firmness, and total transparency. So right away, it sets this very serious and very direct tone. It's definitely not presented as just, some friendly advice. No, it's framed as a direct instruction, an immediate call to action. The urgency is just palpable throughout the whole message. It really emphasizes that we're entering a critical, very time-sensitive period.
Wow, okay. So not just a heads up, a directive. And what's this immediate call to action actually about? What phenomenon are they alerting us to?
The core of it is this description of an imminent event, the arrival of high-intensity energy waves. These aren't just coming from our sun, apparently. No, the source says they originate from strategic points in the galactic core. They're described as intermittent waves carrying extremely high-intensity energy currents that are approaching fast and will soon hit Earth's atmosphere. And the way it's presented, these aren't random cosmic blips. They're portrayed as a deliberate, very powerful energetic influx.
So not just standard cosmic rays, it sounds like they have a specific job to do, almost like they're pre-programmed. What does the directive say about their purpose?
Exactly. The source states these waves have a crucial dual purpose, two main goals. First, they're intended to deeply reconfigure human consciousness. That suggests a really profound internal shift for people, doesn't it? A fundamental change in perception and understanding. And second, maybe more dramatically, they're said to cause intense distortions in everything that still resonates with frequencies of the old matrix.
The old matrix? Okay, what exactly does the directive mean by that?
It seems to refer to the collective energy patterns, the old ways of thinking, the societal structures maybe, that have kind of governed human reality up to now, often characterized by, lower frequencies, fear, separation, that sort of thing. So these incoming energies are presented as being designed to energetically shake up, maybe even dismantle, anything still aligned with those older, lower frequencies. And the bottom line, the directive stresses, is that this whole thing is a matter of vibrational and energetic survival, meaning aligning with these new frequencies is absolutely key.
That sounds, well, pretty intense. But if these waves are meant to help reconfigure consciousness, upgrade reality, why the urgent warning? Is something working against this, trying to interfere?
That's a really crucial point the directive makes. It explicitly talks about opposing forces. It says there are entities who do not desire humanity's ascension, and they know these waves are coming. And their main goal, according to the source, is to turn this sacred moment, this big energetic opportunity, into a kind of trap. A trap filled with distractions, conflicts, subtle attacks on the mind. It's not just passive resistance. It's described as an active countermove.
So we're not talking about like spaceships appearing in the sky. It's more subtle, something working on our minds, our perceptions.
Exactly that. The directive is clear. These attacks won't be visible threats in the usual sense. They'll manifest as this pervasive psychic fog. And this fog shows up internally, it says, through thoughts of doubt, maybe distorted memories, feelings of irritation popping up, sudden divisions even between people who are close. The whole point is the subtlety, right? Making them hard to spot unless you're really paying attention. And the intention behind this fog is presented as quite simple: to stop you, the individual, from tuning into, from aligning with the pure frequency being sent. It's described as a very targeted internal kind of energetic interference, specifically designed to keep people out of sync, basically, to stop them getting the full benefit of the shift. If you connect the dots, the source is really positing this active counterforce trying to disrupt what it calls a sacred moment. It's like an energetic mental battleground, which definitely raises a big question, doesn't it? Given how subtle these attacks are supposed to be, what does it actually mean in this framework to protect your energetic channel?
Right, and this is where it gets really practical, because the directive doesn't just warn you, it gives very specific instructions on how to protect that channel. It uses the word isolation, which, while it sounds a bit extreme, maybe even scary to some, what does isolation really mean here?
It's very careful about defining isolation. It spells out what it is, but maybe more importantly, what it isn't. It clearly states it's not abandoning your mission or cutting off love for the world. And it's definitely not about fear. Instead, isolation is described as entering your internal field of silence. So it's not about completely shutting yourself off physically from everyone. It's more a conscious choice to reduce interaction with chaotic environments, to actively avoid places with big crowds or what it calls dense energy, and to really shield your psyche, your mind, from things designed to pull your focus away. The mechanism it describes is interesting. Every distraction you refuse, every intrusive thought you do not feed, directly protects that channel, that connection, for the new coding to come through. It's presented as an active, deliberate process, like clearing the static off a radio frequency so you can hear the broadcast clearly.
Okay, that makes more sense. It's an internal state. And what about the physical body during all this? The source mentions symptoms people might feel. Are these part of this recalibration, or is it something going wrong?
It does explicitly say many people will feel physical things. It lists things like pressure in the head, palpitations, maybe sudden heat, feeling extremely sleepy, or the opposite, acute insomnia. But it strongly emphasizes these should not be seen as illness, but as recalibration. The body, it explains, is literally receiving luminous instructions, integrating new energy codes. There's also a warning, though. Any external energetic overload can damage or delay this process. Too much stress or external stimulation can interfere with the body's ability to integrate these new frequencies smoothly. So yeah, it frames these physical feelings as natural, temporary adjustments as the body aligns.
Got it. So if we're doing our part, this internal isolation, managing the physical stuff, is there any help from outside? What about those galactic entities, Mira and Ashtar? Are they just watching?
The directive says they're actively involved. Both Ashtar Command and the Pleiadian High Council will be constantly monitoring the Earth's surface during this time. It even offers reassurance that sometimes hostile waves will be neutralized before they even reach you. So active protection is happening. However, and this is a really key point, the directive puts huge emphasis on individual responsibility. It says some attacks depend solely on your own conscious choice not to expose yourself, not to get lost in the noise, and to maintain your frequency intact. It suggests a partnership, really. The galactic forces provide a shield against certain big external threats, but your personal choices, your conscious actions, are still absolutely crucial for handling the subtle internal stuff and fully integrating the energy.
So what does this mean for us listening to this? It's not just a friendly tip, it's presented as a vital step, isn't it? It really paints this isolation as active preparation, not fearful hiding.
Absolutely. And the analogy it uses is quite powerful, I think. It says something like isolation is not fear, it is preparation. It is the same as a musician does before performing the perfect note. He silences, breathes, tunes his instrument, and then it adds, "You are about to play the most important symphony in human history." That really reframes it, doesn't it? It shifts isolation from being about withdrawal to being this active, deliberate act of tuning yourself, your energy. So in this view, isolation isn't running away, it's focusing inward to consciously receive this cosmic download, instead of being overwhelmed or distorted by it. It gives individuals a really active role in this whole thing.
That sounds like a really high-stakes situation then. Individual choices having massive consequences. What happens, according to the directive, if someone, maybe even someone who considers themselves a light worker, decides to ignore this call for isolation? What are the risks?
The directive is pretty blunt about the consequences. First, it points out how important those who do listen are. It says every light worker who protects themselves now is like a lighthouse, guiding others. But the flip side, Well, it's a stark warning. It says those who don't isolate risk exposure to psychic and vibrational overloads so dense that their perception will be distorted for days, weeks, or even months. And it's careful to say this is not punishment. It is a natural consequence of interference. It's just the energetic result of being out of sync with these powerful incoming waves.
Distorted perception for weeks or months. What kind of interference or distortion are we actually talking about? How might that show up in someone's life?
It lists some quite specific and disruptive effects. Things like generating false perceptions, so you're not seeing reality clearly. Experiencing sudden emotional crises, these intense mood swings seemingly out of nowhere. Making impulsive decisions that will change the course of your life, potentially big, harmful choices made under duress. And even momentary blockages of spiritual gifts, where things like intuition or healing abilities might just switch off temporarily. It uses another strong analogy, trying to receive a pure light transmission while there's deafening constant noise on the line. The light isn't gone forever, it says, but it gets muffled, obscured, weakened. It really paints a picture of how interference can diminish clarity and connection.
And these opposing forces aren't just hoping we get distracted by accident, are they? The directive suggests they're actively creating these noisy distractions, like setting energetic traps.
Exactly. It explicitly says these forces are preparing bait scenarios to grab your attention during this crucial time. Examples given include shocking news designed to trigger fear or anger, sudden conflicts, flaring up personally or globally, family or social discussions, escalating needlessly, even seemingly harmless invitations to events full of chaotic energy. The source is very clear. All of this is part of a carefully elaborated script to move them away from the fine-tuning needed for alignment. It's presented as a deliberate, strategic, and quite insidious effort to pull individuals off track.
Wow, okay, so those are the serious risks of not aligning. But what about the upside? What happens if someone does heed the call? If they consciously isolate and prepare as instructed, what are the promised rewards?
The benefits described are, well, they sound truly profound, transformative. By consciously retreating into that internal silence, the directive says, individuals create a clean field, like a perfectly tuned antenna, ready to receive the signal without any interference. And in that state, the incoming waves do much more than just tweak consciousness. They're said to not only reprogram DNA, but also activate dormant records of cosmic memories.
Cosmic memories, that sounds huge. What does the directive suggest that actually feels like for someone experiencing it?
It describes some pretty breathtaking effects. People might start getting glimpses of past lives in other worlds, like sudden vivid dreams or clear insights about having existed elsewhere. It's presented not as imagination, but as actual downloads of your soul's history, often bringing this deep sense of recognition. It also mentions feeling the physical presence of members of your star family. These benevolent beings, it implies, who you're connected to, become more tangibly felt as your own frequency rises. Plus, people might suddenly perceive answers to dilemmas carried for years, just getting sudden clarity on old, stuck problems. And there are physical shifts too. A big jump in natural healing capacity, the release of old pains, and an upgrade in subtle senses, heightened clairvoyance, clairaudience, energy sensitivity becoming much more consistent and stronger than before. It's painted as a very real, tangible shift in your whole being and understanding of reality.
And it's not just personal gain, right? It sounds like there's a bigger collective dimension to this too.
Absolutely. The directive really emphasizes this. By staying centered and aligned, individuals become vital, anchoring living new frequencies for the entire network of planetary consciousness. You're not just receiving these energies for yourself, you're silently irradiating codes that will spread like seeds of light through the collective field, affecting everyone you're connected to, consciously or not. It highlights this powerful ripple effect, individual alignment, directly boosting the whole planet shift, lifting the collective frequency.
Okay, so it's this deeply personal choice, but with potentially enormous, far-reaching consequences for everyone, and the directive is super clear. This isn't going to be on the news, no public announcement. It calls it a silent test.
Exactly. The source really stresses that. No visible global announcement, no public countdown. The world will follow apparently normal, while behind the energetic scenes, it is decided who will be the conscious guardian of this new wave, and who will need to wait for a next cycle. It reinforces how personal, how internal this all is. And it adds that this isolation is not escape, it is a strategic position. It compares it to a warrior before the decisive battle, totally still, listening intently to the energy field, waiting for the right moment. It's deeply internal, yet has these universal implications. It puts a huge weight on individual discernment and choice. Which brings up that critical question again. If there's no external sign, no countdown clock, how do you know when this crucial period actually starts? The directive does give some specific indicators, doesn't it? What it calls signals.
Yes, that's vital. Let's get into those signals. How does the directive say we'll know this energetic pressure is building? How can we recognize the start?
It gives some very precise, observable signs for when this critical phase begins. It actually states, today, August 15th, marks the beginning of a critical 7-day window, dating the directive itself as the kickoff point. And it stresses that during these 7 days, every step, every choice, and every thought carries direct weight, determining how much of the wave you integrate. The very first signal it describes is a sudden alteration in the sensation of time. You might feel hours just flying by or minutes dragging on forever. And it says this isn't just psychological, it's the planet's temporal field being momentarily stretched and compressed by the energy.
Time literally feeling different, bending almost. That's quite a sign to watch for.
What else might we notice around us in our environment?
Soon after the time shifts, the directive points to abrupt changes in natural luminosity, even on a clear day. Sunlight might look different, maybe taking on more golden or silver tones. Even the air might seem denser or shimmering, like it's visibly charged. This is described as a direct result of the interaction of the new frequencies with the Earth's atmosphere, a tangible shift in our surroundings. And physically, those incomputable body signals.
Apart from the general recalibration stuff, are there specific physical feelings that mark this onset?
Yes, it describes a very specific physical signal. A gentle but constant pressure in the center of the forehead, right between the eyebrows, as if something is being unlocked from within. This is often accompanied, it says, by heat in the palms or feet, maybe a sensation of internal vibration, or a ringing that changes intensity in your ears. These aren't presented as illness symptoms, but as definite signs the body is actively receiving and integrating these new energy codes.
And what about emotionally during this initial phase? Should we expect a roller coaster or something quieter? Emotionally, it prepares you for a striking contrast. You might suddenly feel this incredibly deep peace that has no apparent explanation, just a serene inner calm. But then, that could be followed abruptly by abrupt attempts from the environment to generate irritation or anxiety. These rapid swings are identified explicitly as not your failing, but as external attempts to break your state of alignment. And the key instruction is to recognize and refuse to react impulsively. Understand these are like tests trying to pull you off center.
Okay, so once these signals appear and we're in that 7-day window, what are the really practical day-to-day instructions for the peak of this energy, which, as you said, isn't announced?
During that unannounced peak, the directive says your routine must be reduced to the necessary minimum. It's not about stopping everything, but definitely prioritizing calm and reception. Hydration is crucial. Water will be a conductor and stabilizer of the received codes, so drinking water takes on an energetic importance. You're also strongly advised to avoid excessive noise, prolonged screens, and discussions. These are seen as major energy drains and potential interference points. The absolute top priority during this intense period is to protect mental clarity and the harmony of the energetic field. Every choice should support that state.
And meditation, usually a general recommendation, but here it sounds like it takes on a much more vital, specific role.
Absolutely. The directive states meditation will not just be a recommended practice, it will be the bridge by which you will absorb, decode, and integrate the new luminous information. It stresses simplicity. No complex rituals needed. Silence, conscious breathing, and the firm intention to receive only what comes from the supreme light. Meditation becomes the direct, essential tool for taking in the energies.
What about the galactic forces during this peak? Still involved, still offering protection.
Yes, their continued involvement is confirmed. Forces of the Galactic Federation will be positioned in strategic zones around the planet to neutralize harmful discharges sent in response to the activation. Most people won't consciously perceive this, it says, but if you're attentive, you will feel moments when the energetic pressure seems to alleviate for a few minutes, as if the air suddenly becomes lighter. That feeling, it clarifies, will be the sign that protection barriers have been successfully erected. It also repeats that every lightworker in conscious retreat helps maintain the planet's frequency above the critical threshold, reinforcing that collective impact again.
And our own perception of reality, does that shift or change when the energy is at its strongest?
Yes. The directive says that at the maximum intensity, your perception of the space around you alters. Objects might seem to have a slight aura, maybe shimmering faintly. Sounds become clearer, more crystalline. You might notice subtle aromas with no obvious source. These are signs, it says, that your body, mind, and spirit are becoming deeply synchronized with the cosmic pulse. Which really underscores that point about personal agency, doesn't it? It's not just about passively sitting back. The directive offers this whole active strategy for maintaining your vibrational shield throughout.
Okay, so it's definitely not passive. It's about actively building and maintaining this holistic shield. How does the directive say we should do that for body, mind, and spirit?
It gives this incredibly detailed, holistic approach. Starting with your environment, keep your space clean, airy, and free of objects that carry memories of pain, discussions, or negative experiences. The reasoning is that density can anchor dissonant frequencies. Your space can actually hold on to lower vibrations. It also suggests using things like candles, incense, essential oils, not as superstition, it clarifies, but as catalysts that alter the vibrational field of your home, raising its energy.
Wow, so even decluttering has an energetic component here. What about our own bodies, beyond just noticing symptoms?
For the body and energy field, the core practice is energetic breathing. It describes a specific rhythm. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4. This cadence, it explains, harmonizes the heart field, stabilizes the nervous system, and crucially helps prevent external stimuli from breaking your internal alignment. And while you exhale, you're told to visualize a golden light expanding around you, forming a solid and luminous sphere, your personal energy shield, basically.
That's a powerful visualization. And what about information intake? In our world, we're just bombarded. How does that fit into the vibrational diet?
It's very strong on this. Rigorously avoid consuming chaotic information. That means news that makes you angry or scared, heated online debates, anything that creates internal conflict or dissonance. These things, it warns, open micro fissures in your energy field, making you vulnerable. It explicitly states, what enters through your eyes and ears becomes material for your thoughts and emotions. Be selective. Your mental intake directly shapes your vibration.
And physical diet too, more than just general health advice.
Yes, it recommends preferring fresh, living foods, fruits, vegetables, pure water. The idea is to keep the body a clean channel so the frequencies can integrate easily. Conversely, avoid excesses of sugars, industrialized foods, and alcohol. These are said to make your field more vulnerable to oscillations, essentially clouding your energetic clarity and making you more susceptible to interference.
This is incredibly thorough. It covers diet, home organization, everything. What about mental discipline and staying spiritually connected?
For the mind, it's about cultivating internal silence. Not necessarily no thoughts, but the conscious choice not to cling to thoughts that drain energy. If intrusive thoughts or fears pop up, the advice is don't fight against it. Observe, recognize, and let it go. Just letting them pass through keeps the mind clear and the field intact. Spiritually, it urges an active connection with the source. Through prayer, quiet contemplation, mantras, whatever works for you, continuously reaffirming your choice. I receive only what comes from the supreme light, love, and truth. This reinforces your invisible barriers. It also suggests a daily visualization, a column of light descending from above, passing through your body and anchoring in the Earth's crystalline core. This protects you and connects you to the planet's energy, helping distribute the incoming frequencies harmoniously.
It even gets into details like which way to sleep and how to interpret subtle sounds or feelings. The level of detail is just exhaustive.
It really is. It advises sleeping with your head facing magnetic north, if possible, to help with energy flow and integration. Regarding subtle sounds, a high-pitched hum, distant echo, soft whisper, these aren't external noises, but part of the resonance between your field and the waves. They're signs the tuning is happening. Keeping a physical light source nearby, like a candle, is also suggested as a subconscious reminder that darkness has no dominion and helps anchor higher frequencies.
And if intense emotions or even weird visual things come up, how should people handle that?
Intense dreams, sudden old memories, waves of sadness or anger, these are described as purges, clearing out old energy. The advice is to acknowledge them, breathe, and consciously surrender them to the light for transformation, not get stuck in them. Spiritually, strengthen your connection to your guides. Call on them mentally if you feel any strange pressure, sudden heaviness, or an uncomfortable presence. A firm mental command like, "Only supreme light has access to my field," is said to close off unwanted energetic access. Lastly, it mentions increased perception in your peripheral vision, seeing shadows, flashes, figures. This is explained as interaction between dimensions becoming more evident. The key is to remain serene. Fear, it says, is what gives any shadow presence power over you. All this detail really hammers home that this wave isn't just a passive event. It's presented as a profound process of discernment, a vibrational selection based purely on alignment, not on worthiness.
A vibrational selection. That's a really potent phrase. So not about reward or punishment, just pure energetic compatibility.
Exactly. The directive is explicit. This is not punishment or privilege, but vibrational compatibility. It's simply about resonance. Are you tuned to the incoming frequency or not? Those who choose alignment, who do the work, become active channels. Those who remain scattered or distracted will need more time to recalibrate. They can still align, it implies, but it'll take longer.
Yeah.
And it repeats that this whole preparation is a strategic procedure coordinated between planes and dimensions. It's designed to help the shift happen as smoothly as possible for those who are ready.
And that 7-day preparatory window starting today, August 15th, in the document's time frame, is absolutely critical, isn't it? How does it convey the immediacy?
Oh, the urgency is extreme. It hammers home that today, August 15th, marks the beginning of a critical 7-day window in which every step, every choice, and every thought will have direct weight on how much energy you integrate. It's not framed as nice to have. It's non-negotiable for maximum benefit. The warning is severe. Each hour that passes without adjustment weakens your field for the impact to come. It stresses the immediate cumulative effect of your choices within that specific time frame.
Okay, so given that intense urgency, what are the concrete daily actions the directive lays out for those 7 days? It sounds like a full-on energetic boot camp.
It really does. It lists several key steps to take immediately. First, reduce interactions with saturated environments, noisy places, arguments, intense crowds, even chaotic online spaces. Create a calm refuge at home. Second, set aside at least 3 specific times daily for complete silence: dawn, dusk, and before sleep. Just close your eyes, breathe deep, and affirm, I align now with the supreme light and receive only what comes from the greatest love. A constant tuning fork. Third, use the time for physical cleaning and deceleration. Declutter your home, get rid of things with heavy energy. Each item removed is one less door for interferences, it says. Your home is seen as part of your energy field. Fourth, adjust your physical diet to be light and vibrant. Fresh foods, lots of pure water. Avoid heavy stuff, especially at night. This helps free the body for assimilation of the new codes. Fifth, mentally. Cut the excess of news and content that generate indignation or fear. It warns directly. What you consume now will mold the vibrational mold that will receive the wave. Keep that mold clean. Sixth, intensify the daily shielding visualization. Really feel that solid and pulsating crystal light sphere, extending 2 meters around the body, deflecting anything not aligned with divine light. Active mental protection. Finally, expect dreams will begin to intensify. These are seen as consciousness exposures, part of a cleaning process. Don't get caught up in the dream's emotion. Just see it as purification. And it reiterates this whole 7-day cycle is part of the wave. You're already entering the vibrational corridor, and your responsibility is non-transferable. You have to do the work yourself.
That is incredibly detailed, a very specific lead up. What about the 8th day? The absolute apex. How will that moment feel, and what's the guidance then?
On that 8th day, the wave hits its peak. And it won't be signaled by clocks or news flashes, the directive insists. It will be felt with unmistakable intensity in the deepest part of your being. Entirely internal, entirely visceral. It gives these critical, almost poetic signs. An unusual silence, almost palpable in the air, even amidst noise. Like a vibrational suspension, the world holding its breath.
A profound silence signaling the peak and our own perception. Does that shift dramatically at that exact moment?
Yes. Alongside the silence, a sudden expansion of the field of perception. Colors become more vivid, sounds more crystalline. You feel like everything around you pulses together with your heart. A deep synchronization. Physically, maybe a soft electrical current up the spine, like being plugged into a cosmic circuit. And this feeling of deep peace mixed with the feeling that something grand is about to happen. At that moment, the absolute priority is not to disperse. Stay in your prepared space. Soft light, water ready. Focus purely on receiving. Don't try to analyze it immediately, it advises. Let the energy settle first. Just surrender to it.
And after the peak, once that intense energy settles, what's the immediate aftermath like? And what about the permanent change it promises for those who aligned?
The hours right after the apex are for accelerated integration. Perceptions might come in flashes of images, sounds, or memories that do not belong to this life. Those cosmic memories fully surfacing. The instruction is, write down what you receive, but do not share immediately. Let it stabilize within you first, and the permanent shift. Described as profound and irreversible. You will no longer be the same. Like crossing an invisible portal, a point of no return, where the old will no longer find space to inhabit in you. Your cells, mind, spirit, they'll all have registered a new signature that no opposing force can erase. A permanent energetic upgrade.
So what does this all mean? I mean, the directive paints this incredibly vivid picture of a deep personal choice, but one that seems to impact not just us, but potentially the whole fabric of reality, the future.
It really does. This whole deep dive, it really challenges us, doesn't it? To reconsider how we relate to everything outside us and everything inside us. It presents this reality where even our smallest, most subtle personal choices could have these huge cosmic ripples. And it leaves us with this really important question, I think. If our personal energy field truly acts like a tuning fork for these bigger planetary shifts, if it can influence the collective, well, what responsibility does that place on us in our everyday choices, how we perceive things, even when no one else is looking?
That is a fascinating question, a really provocative thought to end on. Whether you take this directive as literal instruction or maybe as a powerful metaphor for navigating personal change in these intense times, the core idea of consciously tuning your own inner instrument for what it calls the most important symphony in human history, well, that's incredibly compelling, isn't it?
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the great vibrational alignment.